A 20-pound orange cat named Max had been making the same rounds every single night at midnight for 14 months straight. His owner slept through every single one. Then she set up a camera. What it showed her, without exception, every night, left her completely speechless. And it explained something she hadn't been able to fix in 4 years. A 20-pound orange cat named Max that Rachel agreed to take in temporarily had been making the same rounds every single night at midnight for 14 months. She slept through all of it. Then she set up a camera. What it showed her, every night without exception, left her completely speechless, and it explained something she hadn't been able to fix for 4 years. Rachel had been a light sleeper her entire adult life, the kind of person who woke up at a car door closing 2 streets over, who kept a glass of water on the nightstand and a paperback she had been reading for 5 months because she never stayed asleep long enough to finish a chapter. Her doctor had suggested melatonin, her sister had suggested warm milk, her coworker had suggested a weighted blanket, her neighbor had suggested white noise. She had tried all of it. None of it had worked. What worked, in the end, was a 20-pound British Shorthair named Max. Max came into Rachel's life the way most unexpected things do, sideways and without warning. Her coworker Jennifer had found him posted in a neighborhood Facebook group in October, a stray with no microchip, no collar, and what the post described as extremely judgmental energy. Jennifer kept him for 2 weeks before her apartment complex sent a formal written warning. Rachel agreed to take him temporarily. That was 14 months ago. Max had apparently not been informed of the temporary arrangement and had made no moves to honor it. He was enormous from the start, even slightly underweight, dense orange fur that stood out at every angle, a permanently flat, unimpressed expression, and copper eyes that seemed to evaluate you and find you somewhat lacking. The vet confirmed he was a British Shorthair, which explained the size, the fur, and what she diplomatically called a strong sense of personal authority. Rachel set up a bed for him in the living room. By the second night, it was empty. She found him at the foot of her bed, curled into a shape that took up considerably more space than his size should have allowed. She moved him back to the living room. He waited 9 minutes and returned. She moved him again. He waited 7 minutes. She moved him a third time. Max sat on the floor beside the bed, stared at her in the dark with complete unbothered patience, and waited until she fell asleep out of sheer exhaustion. She stopped moving him after that. The house had felt large and quiet in the way apartments do when you live alone, and have learned to stop noticing it. Max filled it differently than a person would have. Not loudly, just completely. The way something settles into a space and makes it feel less like a place you return to and more like a place you belong in. Within 2 weeks, a pattern emerged that Rachel noticed but didn't think much about at first. Every night, sometime around midnight, Max would get up from his spot at the foot of the bed, walk the full length of the mattress, and press himself against Rachel. Not aggressively, not heavily, just firmly enough to be felt. He would stay there for approximately 20 minutes, then walk back to the foot of the bed, turn twice, and lay down, like a guard changing shifts. If you're still watching and haven't subscribed yet, that honestly stings a little. Hit subscribe now. You'll want to hear what happened next. Rachel had been sleeping through the night for 6 weeks before she consciously noticed it. She hadn't taken melatonin in a month. The paperback on the nightstand had been finished and replaced with a new one. She was waking up at 6:30 feeling like she had actually rested, which had not happened reliably in 4 years. She mentioned it to her doctor at a routine appointment. Her doctor asked what had changed. Rachel thought about it for a moment and said, "I think it might be the cat." She set up a small camera on the dresser on a Thursday night, pointed at the bed. She watched the footage the next morning over her first cup of coffee, still in her robe, not yet fully awake. 12:07 a.m., Max lifted his head from the foot of the bed, looked at Rachel, then stood, stretched deliberately, and walked the length of the mattress with the unhurried confidence of someone who had a scheduled appointment. He pressed himself against her back, his chin resting on her shoulder. His eyes were open. He was not sleeping. He was watching the room. The door, the window, back to the door. 21 minutes of quiet, unblinking attention before he walked back to the foot of the bed, turned twice, and lay down, like a guard changing shifts. Rachel set down her coffee. She watched it again, then a third time. Then she pulled up the previous night, 12:03 a.m., same walk, same position, same 21 minutes. The night before that, 12:09 a.m. She went back 2 weeks, as far as the camera would allow. Every single night, never more than 10 minutes from midnight in either direction, always the same deliberate walk, always the same position, always watching the room until he was satisfied, then returning to his spot. He had been doing this since the second week she had him. She had slept through it all, every single time, without knowing why. She called Dana and described what she had seen. Dana was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "Rachel, he is keeping watch." Rachel said, "He is a British Shorthair." Dana said, "He is a British Shorthair. There is a difference." Rachel started to say something and then didn't. She looked at the footage one more time instead, at Max's eyes open and steady and completely awake at 12:07 in the morning while she slept. She looked over at Max. He was sitting on the kitchen windowsill, monitoring the street below with the focused attention of someone tracking a situation that required tracking. He did not look like a cat who had shown up from a Facebook post 14 months ago with no particular plan. He looked like someone who had assessed the household, found certain things lacking, and quietly taken charge of the ones he could fix, without asking, without waiting to be thanked. She had not slept reliably in 4 years. Then a 20-pound orange British Shorthair with a permanent frown and copper eyes showed up, decided midnight rounds were part of the arrangement, and fixed it, without being asked and without ever mentioning it. Some stories deserve to be shared. If this one moved you, you know what to do. Max is 4 years old now, or somewhere close to it. He still weighs exactly 20 pounds. He has never once used the bed Rachel bought for the living room. He still makes his midnight rounds without fail. Every single night, same route, same timing, same 20 minutes of quiet, unblinking watch. Rachel no longer sets the camera. She knows what it would show. Some nights, she wakes up just enough to feel the familiar weight settle against her back. She doesn't open her eyes. She just feels him there. Steady, warm, and completely certain, doing what he decided was his job on the second night in a house he was only supposed to stay in temporarily. She never did find out where he came from before that Facebook post in October. She has stopped wondering. It doesn't seem to matter anymore. Some arrivals don't need an explanation. They just need a door left open. He is exactly where he decided to be, and so, finally, is she. Would you have kept him, or would you have found him another home? Tell me in the comments.